guys, my name is Sarah. I am the education coordinator here at the Sioux City Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center. Usually during the summertime, we have our Exploration Wednesdays. Those are morning programs for kids. They come down to the center and we do Lewis and Clark themed activities. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we can't get together and have those activities. But for the month of June, we are going to do online Exploration Wednesday activities. And today we are going to make milkweed seed bombs. This is an activity we had on our Facebook site a few weeks ago. I will repost the worksheets for how you can do your own milkweed seed bombs. But today I'll walk you through it. I'll also tell you a little bit about Lewis and Clark and some of the plants they encountered. So Lewis and Clark, they were traveling up the Missouri River, which is right outside the window here. You can't see it, but the Missouri River stretches all the way to Montana. And one of the things they wanted to learn about when they're traveling up the Missouri River was the plants in the Louisiana Territory. And that included the plants here in Siouxland. And what they would do, so one plant they found was the horsetail. And I have a little specimen of the horsetail right here. It's kind of a long brush-like plant. So Lewis and Clark, they would find these new plants, they would write all about them. They would write about, when do they bloom, when do the flowers start to sprout, what's the shape of the leaves, how big does it get, what kind of habitat does it like? Does it like, soil full of nutrients? Does it like sandy soil? Where is it growing? And so they would collect a specimen. They would collect a little sample of it. And for example, I have some May Night Salvia, this little purple flower right here, if you can see it. And what they do, they would collect that little plant, that specimen, the example of it. They would grab their press book. So this is an example of a plant press book. So it's like a really big book, but instead of full of pages with stories and words on it, it had these blotter pages. So blotter pages would absorb moisture from the plant. So this one has cardboard. So you can make your own at home. You grab a really big, thick book and you would fill it, with paper towels or cardboard like this one is. You would set your little specimen, your plant specimen, in between the pages. You press it down. This one has rope, so you can make it really tight because you want to get all that moisture out of the plant. And then after a few weeks, you have to change out the cardboard because you want it nice and dry to soak up all that moisture. You could take a piece of paper, you could glue it, you could tape it to, your poster. You could write where you found it, you can describe it, and you can hang this on your wall, this little plant specimen. So that's what Lewis and Clark were doing. Lewis was the big plant lover of the group. He was an amateur botanist, and botanist is someone who studies plants. So he was really interested in the plants he would see in the Louisiana Territory. So like you have the field horsetail, something else they might see would be also this one. This was really pretty. This is a violet prairie clover. Another one you see a lot here in Siouxland, especially if you're here at the center, is leaves from the cottonwood tree. And those we also have outside on the grounds here. So they would collect these, they would press them in their plant press book, get all that moisture out, and then they would take this back, and they actually brought them back to the United States so they could show other botanists and scientists. And they even collected seeds, and with these seeds from flowers and vegetables and fruits, they actually gave some to President Thomas Jefferson, and he planted them in his garden at his home in Monticello, and he actually grew them because Thomas Jefferson, the president, was very interested in plants. Now, another plant common here in Iowa is the milkweed. And so I have a picture of the butterfly milkweed. I got this picture from the Iowa State University Extension Office. It's a really great website all about the plants and gardening here in Iowa, so I definitely recommend them. And so the milkweed, these are the ones, their seeds, we're going to use them to make the seed bombs. Because milkweed is very special, it is the only flower, the only plant monarch butterflies will eat. So when I was growing up, we had a lot of monarch butterflies. Today, they're not so common because a lot of people treat milkweed like weeds. So they get rid of them, they take them out of their gardens, and unfortunately, that means the monarch butterfly has nothing to eat. So today, we're gonna make seed bombs full of milkweed seeds. And these you can plant in your garden, you can plant them in your ditches, you can find somewhere in the yard, check with mom and dad first, and you can plant them. They're really easy to grow, they don't take a lot of work, they're pretty self-sufficient, like Lewis and Clark. And so what you will need, first thing you'll need is some air dry clay, which I have right here. You can find this in a craft store. This is the Terracotta Air Dry Clay. You need about half a cup of that. And you're gonna grab a bowl. You're gonna get a little dirty, but that's okay. You take a half a cup of air dry clay, and it's pretty dry. Just add a few drops of water. This clay is pretty moist already, so it's already sticking to my hands. And you kind of just play with it like Play-Doh, get nice and loose. Perfect. And then you just toss it in your bowl right there. Next thing you're gonna need is a half a cup of soil. So I got my soil right here. This is all-purpose soil that you can find, at a greenery or at your local shop. If you live in Iowa, we have really good soil, so you can ask mom and dad if maybe you could borrow some soil from the garden. And with this, I like to add just a few drops of water to it, not to make mud, but I still want it to kind of stick together. But don't add too much water because you'll have a big bowl of mud then. So you add some water. I'm gonna mix it together a little bit till it just starts to clump together. There we go, because your seeds needs the soil to grow. The soil has the nutrients the seed needs, so we're gonna make that nice and clumpy. There we go, starting to clump together. Already a little bit dirty. Dump that into your bowl. And here comes the fun part. All you have to do is mix the soil, that dirt, with the clay. And so the difference between dirt and soil is that soil has all those nutrients that you want for your garden. So gardeners always use nice, rich soil because that gives your plants the food they need to grow. So it's gonna be a little messy, it's gonna be a little mushy. We get all that soil, get it all into that clay, mix it up really, really good. There we go. Can't be afraid to get a little dirty. Lewis and Clark weren't afraid to get a little dirty when they were out collecting plants. So we gotta be brave like them. There we go. And then next, you see you have a pretty big seed bomb right here. And that's a little too big. We don't wanna plant this whole thing. So you're just gonna take a little bit off, about the size of a quarter. There we go. We add a little bit more to mine. So it's about the size of a quarter. You're gonna roll it up into a ball. So that's gonna be a perfect size. And then what I like to do, you can poke holes into it. I usually like to use a color pencil because then I can really push into the little seed ball. And then I'm gonna push a little hole in there. And then the next thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need your milkweed seeds. So these little seeds you can find at your local garden shop. They're pretty small, kind of look like a red pepper flake. They're really tiny and they're really little. And all you need is a few for your little seed bomb. So you have that little hole in there. You're gonna grab a seed, you're gonna drop the seed right in that hole, and then you pinch the top together. You close that hole, and then you got your first seed in there. And then you're gonna move your ball to a new spot, make a new hole, add a new little seed in there, drop it in, pinch the top so it's all closed, and then you're gonna make one more hole on the other side, add another seed in there. There we go. Pinch the top, and you're ready to go. So I'm just gonna make it back into a nice smooth ball right there. There we go. And you're ready to go. This is all you need. You can let it dry a little bit. You can go throw this in your garden, or you can give it as a gift. If you want to give it as a gift, I recommend you can make your own little packaging. If you have some coffee filters. I was looking for unbleached coffee filters, but I couldn't find any, so I have the white ones, and they're really good. You can actually grab some markers, you can color it, you can design it. Not showing up too good, but I added some milkweed flowers to my little coffee filter here. And all you have to do, take your little seed bomb, stick it there in the middle, wrap it up, wrap it with some string or some twine, and then you can give this as a gift to someone. These are really easy because you just toss it in the garden or in the ditch, and it will take care of the rest. So these are really fun to make. You get a little dirty, and it's just a really great way to also help the monarch butterflies, because this is the only food they eat. And so you see those caterpillars, they eat for about 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, and then they'll turn and they'll make their cocoons, and then they'll come out as butterflies. And so we really want to bring these guys back because they're pollinators. And pollinators are insects like butterflies or bees that help pollinate flowers, and that grows fruits and vegetables that we need to survive. So we really want to, help the monarch butterflies. So that is it for today. I'm glad you were able to tune in and learn how to make some seed bombs. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. We'll also add this video to YouTube, Facebook, and I'll be also adding those worksheets with the explanation, the instructions, so you can also do this at home. So see you next week, and thank you for tuning in.